Hi y'all, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Ira and I'm a person who's on a journey to find her best self. And that includes losing weight. And before you say anything, I was over 200 pounds and now I am really trying to lose weight and I am almost there. But I made a whole video, like an intro video telling like more about myself. Here was like the very first video in the channel. But now we're going to talk about, we're going to react to some FatTok videos that I found. They're not necessarily from like big creators. Some are, but not all of them. But this first one in particular that we're going to start reacting to, I think she does feeder content, which if you ask me, it's pretty gross because, I mean, first of all, the whole idea of the fetish behind it is like, what the hell? And second of all, like, why would you kind of like, want to end your life earlier so that other people can, get, you know what I'm saying? And you will understand why, but I wanted to start with this first video here where she's climbing up the stairs and just pay attention at how hard it is for her to go up the stairs. Like she's like barely breathing. Guys, like, look at this. Like you can hear she's struggling. She's like, like, oh my God, can you imagine like feeling like this just by going up the stairs? Like how she's really using her hands to help her out. And then the cherry on top. Did we need that? Was it really necessary? I don't think it was, like, sorry, girly, but no one wants to see your underwear because it's just like, no. But, also, why would you want to, like, again, eat yourself to a point where you cannot even climb up the stairs properly? Like, why would you want to do this to yourself? Like, why would you want to, I mean, I don't know, like, do this? And like I said earlier, I think she fetishizes her content, and you'll understand why. This video is like, I think I need to put a trigger warning here because this video might want to make you just look out your eyes. Look, this is so freaking disgusting. The way that she, oh God, like again, and why would you do that? For what? Like, oh God, like, you can't read it here, but her caption says, muffin soft, but this belly might be softer. And then the comments are like, you look beautiful. A very good sweet potato, my friend. I miss you. I don't know, like fire emojis. And you found one, boys. In a box, reply me, which means that I think she's actually profiting off of whatever this is. That, I mean, I don't know, like my YouTube video might be even taken down because this is, oh God, look at this. Look at this. Oh, God, I want to throw up. Like, oh, okay, that's it. We don't need to see it anymore. I think everyone gets the picture. My question is, are you really proud of yourself? Like, do you wake up every morning and look at yourself in a mirror and think, I'm really proud of what I'm putting out in the world? Like the type of content, the message I'm sending to other women, or like even to other fat people. Like, is it the type of message that you want to send other people? Like, you want to, like, like, oh God, it's so, when I saw this and the sounds that she makes and how she acts, is like, it's so clearly like she has one goal. And I mean, I don't know, doing this in detriment of your health. Yes, you might have money, and she's got like a lot. Her content is basically it, like her first video was posted like, where can I see this? Was posted on July 28th, and she has like 16 followers already. So, if you know, I'm sorry guys, but that's appalling. No, but let's moving on for something that it's not gonna it's not gonna make us want to throw up. But I don't know, like, I don't really agree with the message, but let's hear her out. Miss Berry Bean Pie.
Promoting obesity is what it takes to make other fat people feel hot. Obviously, I'm gonna do that. So yes, I am promoting obesity. Stay mad. Thank you so much. If promoting obesity...
I'm not mad. I'm sorry for you, honestly. I don't feel mad, I feel pity. Like, if promoting obesity is what it takes to make other fat people feel hot, first of all, it's not your job to make other people feel hot. And again, a lot of people in the fat, like, acceptance movement, they will fight you to like the core that no, they do not promote obesity. They just want, like, fat people to be treated nice. And again, I'm not against that. I just want to, like, be clear here. But you have like a video that proves that this video it's a clear proof that she's promoting obesity, that not everyone in this movement is like
Just
there
a reminder
to be like, oh no, I don't want to, I just want people to respect fat people, which again, I am not against. I think, yes, we should respect everyone, not just fat people, but like everyone, regardless of whatever, gender, race, whatever. I think respect, you should just respect people, period. But you're like, I'm promoting obesity. What for exactly? Because do you want to be fat? And have you come, okay, here's the thing. Have you come to terms with all the risks that being fat bring, or are you in that denial phase that no, fat, obesity and health like they're not, like they have nothing to do with one another? Because if you have like if you have come to terms with the fact that when you're obese, the likelihood of you having like heart attacks, cancer, and all other types of diseases, like they're very high. But if you are okay with that, then fine. I mean, you're an adult. You have assessed the risks. For you, it's better to eat a donut and to give in to your cravings than it is to live a long life. Just don't go online posting content being like, oh, I'm going to promote obesity to make other fat people feel hot. No, that's called projection. You want to feel hot because probably you don't. So you're saying that, oh, I'm doing this because I want to make other people feel hot. But in actuality, you're doing this because you want to feel hot yourself, because probably you don't feel hot. And I mean, that's honestly sad, because you look young and you look like a nice person. Again, I'm not saying anything. It's like, I'm not attacking your person. Like, I don't know if you're nice, if you're not, but don't come with, oh my God, I'm doing this for others. No, you're doing this for yourself because you want to convince yourself that you're hot. I mean, that's just my opinion. But moving on to the next one with _M_dash. And the caption says, stay mad, fat phobes. And I love how everything is fat phobia, right? If you say like, oh, I want to lose weight, you're fat phobic, you shouldn't lose weight, like you shouldn't want that. Or I don't know, like if your doctor tells you like, hey, you're pre-diabetic, it's diabetic, like no, like my doctor is just fat phobic and whatever. I mean, not everything is fat phobic. I'm not denying that fat phobia exists, because it does. Like, I'm not saying that fat people have an easy time, that everything for them it's easy, that people are like I mean, I know there are struggles, but and I know like losing weight is easier said than done. But you have to realize at some point that you brought yourself to where you are. And one of the hardest things is to take accountability for the things that you do and to forgive yourself for what you've done to yourself. There are things that I done, like that I allowed myself to go through in the past that I'm still not okay with. And it's a process. And like, when I saw like me getting fat, I'm like, this could have been avoided. But I need to forgive myself. I need to, like, understand. But at the same time, you need to look yourself in the mirror and say, maybe I need to change. But let's see why fat phobes should be mad.
Reminder that I am very fat and very sexy, and I am 100% glorifying obesity, and there's nothing you can do about it. Just a
I mean, sexy? I mean, you do you. And again, another fat influencer. She's got 4,000 followers, and she's saying that she is promoting obesity, which again, it feels more like, when you want to do like you don't want to do your homework, and that's not right. But then you try to convince, let's not do the homework. So you have like more people, so you don't feel so like alone in that, because there's no way that you're denying science this much. Like there's freaking no way, right? Right? I mean, I hope so, right? But maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, kudos to you. You feel sexy. You maybe have a very high self-esteem. Like I certainly, when I was like even now I don't feel sexy, but when I was heavier, I definitely did not feel sexy. I did not want to go out because I did not want people to see me fat, because like I said, I was skinny, and I know that this happens, like when you're used to be skinny and then you gain a lot of weight, people that then see you after a long time, they will comment like, oh my God, did you see how much weight she gained? And I knew that they would say that behind my back, and I did not want that for me. So I simply didn't want to go out or take pictures. On my birthday, my friend posted this beautiful message on on her story. She tagged me, but I looked so fat in the picture that I didn't even repost it because I was embarrassed. And I don't know. I just want to change that. But now on to the second, third, fourth, I don't know. There's this music in the background, so I'm going to mute it because I don't know if it's copyrighted or not. But the caption says like, trying to feel cute while weighing 300 pounds is the most humbling experience. I think it's okay to feel insecure in your body. So you're like, oh, I think it's just like it's the most humbling experience, because why? Because it's hard to feel cute when you're 300 pounds, but why is it hard? Right? It's just like, I'm going to sound like a jerk right now, but you don't see thin people saying trying to feel cute when you're thin is the most humbling experience. Yes, our society there are beauty standards, and I'm not denying the existence of beauty standards, and being skinny is one of them, but not being fat. For me, it goes beyond the idea of not feeling, of not being cute. Is you also have health, and I want to go back to the gym. I want to go back to lifting weights because I know how important it is to do that, like for like women's health in general, like osteoporosis and like all of that. Like there are a lot of benefits, and I don't want to live in a heavy body. But I think it's fun you say it's the most humbling experience. Why? Like now, if you think it's difficult to find yourself attractive at 300 pounds, why don't you do something about it? Why you're just like, well, whatever. It is what it is, right? I mean, I'm sorry, but it doesn't make sense. On to the next one. Oh, and by the way, she's got like 21,000 followers on TikTok. And now we're going to Queen Beasts. Queen Beast says, and she's got like 70,000 followers. This video is a bit older, but I think like the message still resonates to this day. Like,
love if we could start listening to fat people and plus size people when they voice very real concerns and fears and insecurities. So, for example, we've got into this trend of when a plus size person says, I don't want to go to the gym because I'm scared I'm going to be pointed at and laughed at. And it is met with, no one is going to be watching you at the gym because they're focused on their own workout. I wouldn't let it bother you. Or, I don't want to eat in public because I'm scared I'm going to get judged. What do you mean? No one's going to be watching you. No one's going to be watching what you're eating. I wouldn't let it bother you. Or, so what if they do? Who are they to you? Water off a duck's back. It's not helpful. It's not helpful, right? Because first of all, I understand the sentiment where you're saying like no one's going to be watching me, but unfortunately it's just not true. Because the reason why a lot of these fears and insecurities exist for fat people is because they've already happened. They've already happened, and we don't want it to happen again because it's not fun. It's horrible to have to deal with it. So you saying,
If only there was something you could do about it, right?
no one's going to be watching me, or people are just going to be working on their own workouts, isn't 100% true, and it sucks that it isn't. I wish it was. It isn't, okay? But then also the idea that the only way I can battle this is by, saying, oh, well, these people shouldn't, you shouldn't let these people bother you in that way. That requires so much confidence that not everyone, and I mean everyone, not just plus size or fat people, I'm talking about.
I don't think it requires confidence. I think it requires courage and a little bit of self-awareness. I mean, because the vast majority of people at the gym are not going to be judging you. And you have two options here. Okay, we're going to continue watching her video, but you have two options here. I can give a fuck about what people think about me, go to the gym and get healthier, or I can just be like, oh, well, they're going to watch me, so I'm just going to stay home and not do that. Okay, we all have our insecurities. I get it. I just said it. I didn't want to go out because I was afraid of that what people would say about me. I get that. I really, really get it. But there comes a moment that you need to start maybe reflecting. Like, I'm scared of going to the gym. I'm scared of eating out because I'm fat. And yet, you don't do anything about it. You're just like, oh, well, it is what it is. What am I going to do? Because you can go to a restaurant and eat a good meal. You can go to the gym and work out. Again, I think the vast majority of people are not going to be paying attention at you because for once, I go to the gym, I am the most antisocial person you will ever meet. I just want to go there. I want to do my workout and I'm out of there. I'm just out of there. So, I don't know. I get fears and insecurities and not wanting to put yourself out there because of your body. Because again, I have felt this way, but at the same time, what are you doing about it? Because it's not like you're short or you're too tall or, you have some sort of disability that you cannot do anything about it. Go to a doctor, go to a dietitian, figure out a way that you can make yourself comfortable enough that you'll go to these places and not feel uncomfortable. Now let's continue watching.
Everyone struggles to make. To get to a point where you don't mind being outwardly.
And again, I think this type of feeling, they come from a long long term, like term trauma. Can you say that? Like it's because probably this person has been bullied since she was a kid for being fat. I'm not trying to like minimize that. I'm not trying to say that she's not entitled to feel the way she does, but because I thankfully I wasn't bullied. People attempted to bully me, especially like with my height, but I've always loved being tall, so it never really worked. Like they will call me like giraffes and be like, yeah, sure, I'm tall. Like I've always loved being tall, so it never worked. But and yes, being comfortable with something that people probably bullied your entire life for is not an easy thing. But then again, there is something you can do about it.
Laughed at and mocked at and pointed at in public is an incredible level of confidence to obtain. Now, marry that with this idea that...
And again, I think these people have such a high school mentality. Like people do that when they're in high school. When they're, I don't know, like adults, like we don't do that. We just like don't get like in the middle of like and point at people and laugh at them. Like adults don't do that. Like people at the gym are not gonna do that. Like just get out of high school, for crying out loud.
If you are fat, you've grown up your entire life having your confidence beaten out of you. And if you have any confidence now, it's because you've worked so hard to get there and having to dismantle all of that fat phobia and all of that diet culture in your head. I get it. And I salute you for getting to that confidence. But what I'm trying to say is, the world hasn't helped you get to that level of confidence. You've had to do it yourself because the world has told you that you're ugly, that you're not deserved of love, you're not deserved of respect, you're not deserved of even equal healthcare. You are a drain on our resources. That's one of the things that gets thrown at me a lot. So the idea that person who has been here...
I don't agree when people say like they're a drain to the resources, and I see what that like where people come from when they say that. However, I feel like if you're going to say that about fat people, you have to say about people that don't exercise, or people that smoke, or people that are alcoholic, or people that live in big polluted cities, because everything that we do somehow will cause us to get some sort of illness, so I don't agree. And I think like honestly is the government's like job to make sure that every citizen has a decent life. And I don't think it's part of the government to exclude people from that care, yes, because as far as I'm concerned, and US citizens like to say that a lot, like, we are free here. It's a free country. So then why are you mad that people are using more like healthcare resources due to their weight, because they're free to do whatever they want, right? So I think of course I think in schools you need to have more education like towards food and nutrition and all of that, but I honestly don't agree with that argument.
Hearing that their entire life is now also meant to have the level of confidence so that they don't get bothered by people outwardly laughing and mocking them in public spaces. Well, that's fucking
Again, I don't live in the United States, but I've been to the United States, I want to say 4 or 5 times, to different cities. Like I've been to Orlando, New York, San Diego, LA, and never have I seen this happen. I've never seen people gathering around a fat person, pointing at them and laughing. Maybe, like I said, that happened in high school, but I don't think as adults that happens anymore. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You just say here, like, yeah, you came here as a tourist, maybe you didn't pay attention, but it happens all the time because, like, I honestly don't see that happening. I had never seen that happening. I have, anyways.
Shit, that's a really hard task that you're asking these people. And I don't know what the answer is. But I think the first step is we have to admit that these things happen. So when a plus size person says, I'm scared about going to the gym, your answer isn't, oh, no one's going to be watching you.
It's true.
I hear you, and that's a really valid fear to have. It sucks that it's valid, but it's valid nonetheless. And let's start from there and work our way forward. Because
I see her point. Like, let's validate the person's feelings and be like, yes, that's a valid point to have, right? But you can't just be like, oh yes, it's a valid feeling. I understand you, especially if you're a friend. If I'm not a friend of this person and she comes and says something like this, well, I understand you. That's a valid feeling, but I have nothing to do with that person. But if your friend is like, oh yes, I understand you. It's a valid feeling, but where is it coming from? You know? And why is it stopping you from making better choices for your life? That's how I feel. The next one is from Queen Beast Says, and I think she's the one that's got more followers on TikTok here. She's got over is she the one that no, she's got like 70,000 followers, and she's doing that trend where they put this Ed Sheeran song that I honestly find it very annoying. I'll just say that. No judgment if you do it. It's just like, I find it annoying. So for obvious reasons, I'll have to mute. But she says, why do you call yourself fat? It's like another person asking her, like, why do you call yourself fat? And then she answers, because I am. And then the other person says, but you're not fat. You are beautiful. You just carry fat and that will change. And then I'm good. I call myself fat. And wait a second. I call myself. I call myself fat and I'm more than okay with that. And then the reply is, have you heard of Ozempic? Have you heard of Slimming World, Ozempic? You don't have to be fat anymore. And then she acts all like flabbergasted. I am good. I don't do diet culture. Why are you choosing to stay fat? Don't you care about your health? The other person asks, and she goes, and she doesn't say anything. Like, she just goes like, and I don't do diet culture world. Like taking care of yourself is not diet culture world. It's actually world, period. You know, like, I think you can say, like, you can be okay with being fat. And, like, I'm okay with being fat, but I know that I need to change. It's one thing, but it'd be like, no, I don't do diet culture. And please don't. Don't go into the diet culture world because it's possessed by crazy anti-science people telling you like crazy things. So please don't. Stay away. Like, stay away from diet culture rabbit hole. But I don't think Ozempic is part of this culture, for one. And also, like, I don't think that you should, like, if you have like a tool to help you, use it. I'm using Monjaro. I've said it. I started last month. I'm on my second month of Monjaro, and I've seen great results. I need again to adjust my diet, but there's nothing wrong with that. And again, I go back to what I said in the beginning. If you have assessed the risks and you are aware of what obesity brings into your life, and you are okay with that, you're an adult, you do whatever you want to do with your life. Just like a person that chooses to smoke. Like a smoker knows the risks, and they're smoking anyway. So, okay, well, vapors, for instance, they know how effed up it is to vape, but they vape anyway. You won't see a person that vapes going like, oh, no, vaping won't bring any risks to you, but they still choose to vape. If you know the risks and you still choose to remain obese, that's okay. Like, you're an adult, you know, you do you. But if you are in that denial that, because again, you can't cherry pick your science. You can't be like, oh, it's scientifically proven that this percent of people fail their diet, whatever. First of all, those people that fail are the ones that do crash diets, people that change their lifestyle. That's a whole different story. And then when you know, like, when you reply with yes, but X, Y, like obesity brings X, Y, and Z risks, and be like, oh, this is a lie. Science is fat phobic. Like, you cannot cherry pick your science. Pick a lane. Are you going to go with science or against science? Because you cannot use science when that is going to please you. Okay. So, I'll just leave it at that. Okay. You can't just be like, oh, no. This scientific article is good for me, so I'm going to use it. It's fat phobic. No. We don't do this in this house, okay? You cannot cherry pick your science. Now, the next video I chose is because I was impressed by this girl that is more than Tracy T. And she's got over 56,000 followers on Instagram. And she made a whole video about Portugal fat accessibility. We're going to watch the video. And I, when I saw the caption, I Googled what is the fat obesity rate in Portugal, and something around like 22% according to Google. And I think it's crazy that you have to think about accessibility when like you're like, if the place, like, you want to go to a place, but you're not sure that you can go to that place because that place is I don't know, might not be accessible to you because you're fat. You know, like, it's not because you're in a wheelchair or you've got a disease. No. It's because you're fat. Again, that's something that never crossed my mind, but let's hear what she has to say.
And this is the Fat Accessibility Report. As a fat person, I have huge anxiety about traveling, and so I thought maybe this could help somebody if I break down everywhere that I have been.
Again, traveling is one of the things I love doing the most. I get anxious before I go because I want to get there so quick, like, I want to go. But like, remember, like, I get so much anxiety for thinking that I'm not going to be able to fit in the places. What the hell? Like, what the actual hell? Okay. And she's not even like that big. We've seen bigger people in today's video.
Exactly how fat friendly it is. Obviously, flying is the most difficult thing. We flew EasyJet, which is the cheapest airline that goes out of the closest airport. And I really like EasyJet for one specific reason, which is that they have the armrest on the window seat that flips up. A lot of US airlines don't have that, and it won't let the armrest flip up, which is really uncomfortable. But to flip it out of the way gives you a little bit.
Like, I'm tall, and I think I was born to be rich, but unfortunately, God has not granted me that. And it's so uncomfortable to travel, like a trip from Brazil to Europe is like 12 hours. And it's very, very, very uncomfortable. But I do, for example, so I'll always get the aisle seat because I can like stretch my legs. I'll do what I can to make myself comfortable. But I cannot change how tall I am. But I can change how much money I make. And that is one of the things I want to work on. This is one of my goals. So that's the thing,
Bit of extra room, and a lot of the EasyJet planes also have much skinnier rails so that you're not like, you don't have this blocky rail pushing into you potentially.
It's funny, like they have like the skinnier rails that's why they're cheap, because they're very uncomfortable, but for some reason, for fat people, that's great. For the rest of people, that's really uncomfortable. But
I have narrower hips, so I'm able to fit in plane seats no problem. The only issue is my shoulders often will be bumping the person next to me. And that wasn't an issue on this flight because
I would be bothered so much if I had to fly 12 hours with someone constantly touching me. And I'm not saying that because a person is fat or whatever. Please don't put words in my mouth. It's just that, like, if a person said like this, that would bother me and be like touching. I'd be like, can you not? Can you not?
that person was my mom. Yay. But I will say on our flight back, it was me, my mom, and then another fat person in our row. And she asked to switch, and they were very accommodating because there was space on the flight. So if you need to do that, definitely a possibility.
What if it was completely booked? What if?
As far as tourist attractions, there are some narrow corridors and passageways. Nothing I physically couldn't fit through, but sometimes there's a negotiation when somebody is coming down while you're going up or vice versa. That presented no issue for me, although I always do feel like, oh my God, I have to flatten myself against this thing and they're still not going to be able to get by, but it was fine. The train seats on the Lisbon public transit that we went on, we took one bus into the city, which was very nice, pretty big seats, really comfortable.
Yes, the buses in Lisbon are really nice. Lisbon is actually a really nice city. Like, I highly recommend if you have a chance to go there. Like, the food, who is the French cuisine next to the Portuguese cuisine? Like, I'm sorry, but the food in Lisbon humiliates the food in Paris. That's just what I think.
Armrest that flipped up. It was great. In the city, we took one train to Cascais, which is this beautiful beach town. That train was actually very roomy. I was impressed. Definitely almost on par with Amtrak. Certainly on par with most regional rail in the US. Probably bigger than most of the train seats in England, to be honest. The tram was a little bit trickier, but you can stand, and usually the little ones are packed really tight.
Yeah, they're very, they're tiny.
Anyway, so it's like you're going to be up against people no matter what size you are. I did have the experience on a tram of sitting next to another fat person, and it was like, wow, this really is not made for two fat people to be here, but we made it work. As far as accommodation, we stayed in a hostel, which I was a little nervous about because I knew I was probably going to have to sleep in a bunk bed, but it was actually amazing. I really love bunk beds. I'm just afraid that they're going to fall apart under me. Go figure. But this one was...
Wow. I mean, again, it's a fear you choose.
Really sturdy, not even a creak from it, and there were stairs up instead of a ladder, which was nice. It was just kind of a big...
And probably had the money to afford a better hostel. You don't know if the person who's watching it is going to be able to. You gotta have that in mind.
Wooden box. And at one point I had to use it for a voiceover audition, so the blanket's up there because I was recording. Most of the furniture felt very stable as far as like holding my weight. This was like a very antique-y thing and I was nervous.
Of course, you were nervous, babes. These things are made out of like real wood. That's why it costs so much. You know, like these things are heavy. I mean, and see, like she's not even that big, guys. She's not, and she's that insecure. Imagine for a bigger person.
But it was actually fine. The issue, though, was at restaurants, a lot of the chairs have arms like this. This is another thing that wasn't a problem for me because of the way that my body is shaped. But if you have a bigger butt or bigger hips, this is going to be...
No, if you're just more fat than she is.
Tricky for you in Lisbon or in Portugal in general. The other thing to be aware of is there are a lot of steps to walk up and hills to walk up to get to these beautiful views, which are literally the entire reason to go to Lisbon, in my opinion. It's incredible. And so if you have any accessibility issues as far as like movement or exercise, that's going to be a tricky thing too. They have
if you have that because of a disability, okay, but if you have that because of your weight, reconsider your life choices.
Elevators, but there is still climbing involved. I did get nervous about exceeding one small elevator's weight limit because it was in kilos and I didn't know what it was in pounds, but it ended up...
That has happened to me in the United States, like when I weighed my luggage and I saw the number on the scale because it's like 32 kilos. I was like, oh my gosh, how much extra am I gonna have to pay? But it was in pounds. I was like, oh God.
Being fine.
I
and
can
everything
understand
felt
that.
Very sturdy. And that was my experience traveling to Portugal as a fat person. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want the series.
Again, she seems like a nice person, right? Nothing against the person, okay? I just want to make that very clear here. But it's just like, why would you like choose to go through these anxiety when you don't have to? I've just noticed that I'm hitting like 50 minutes, the 50-minute mark, and so we're gonna watch the last one. It's FatTok, and she calls it fat phobia. Hashtag fat phobia is real, and let's see what happened to her for her to claim that she was a victim of fat phobia.
A first date tonight and he just unmatched me on Bumble, so I was supposed to have a first date tonight and he just unmatched me on Bumble, so I guess we're not going to get drinks anymore. But I thought I would show you guys my outfit so somebody saw it, because I know I'll get questions. My dress is from Eloquy, but I got it from D&Co. My jacket is from ASOS, and my boots are Topshop. It's a cute look. His loss.
I mean, she's a very beautiful girl. I'll give her that. I was just like looking and thinking, where is the fat phobia? I mean, I think people are allowed to have preferences when it comes to like what body type they're attracted to. In my case, for instance, I'm not attracted to jacked men, you know, like these guys, like they're very muscular. Like I'm not really attracted to these. I'm more like the skinny guy type, like area. But like, are you really sure he unmatched or blocked you because he saw you were fat? Did you catfish him? Because when you start the video and you see her face, she doesn't look like a big girl. Like if you look here, she doesn't look like a big girl. So, did you catfish him? Just posting pictures of your face, and then maybe he saw you on other social media and saw that you were fat and said, oh no, I'm not really interested anymore. Again, I think he could have been like, he should not have like simply ghosted you. He could have said, look, I'm not interested. I think it's better, I don't know, like talk to you or something. But I mean, it's unfortunate. You know, like some people may find you attractive, and then maybe they saw your other profile and said, no, I don't like women in bigger bodies, and that's fine. The same way you can look at someone and say, no, I don't like men in certain body types. Again, which is fine. And I don't see that as fatphobic, and I am just assuming that that's what happened. You don't know what actually happened. So to say like fat phobia is real, I mean, is it the first time you're ghosted? I've been ghosted when I was one of my skinniest. So I don't think it's a weight matter. I think it's men matter. That's just something men do. Like they just I don't know why. It's a pandemic at this point, but it is what it is. So you got you got, I don't know, like dumped or stood up, and that's not necessarily because you were fat, or maybe you try to catfish him, like just showing pictures of your face, which for me is not fair. Because if you are, especially on dating apps that you don't have a chance to know the person, the first thing you'll be interested in is their physical features. So you gotta be honest there, Well, but anyways, guys, this is what I think. These are my opinions. I hope I wasn't mean, because I'm not mean. I'm not a mean person. Sometimes I feel a little bit I'm a people pleaser through and through, but there are sometimes things that you see and I'm just like, girl, the math isn't mathing. It's just like it doesn't make sense to me. But if you liked this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and you like this video, and you subscribe to the channel, and you watch my first video, like this video before this one, and have a wonderful day. And I will see you in my next video.